Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Library Sherry. How is your exam preparation going? Your MLS ASCP certification exam. Are you able to handle all the studies? This week, we're going to talk about how to study your certification exam while you are absolutely stressful and running out of time. I have a 30-day exam preparation parsing plan available for download, completely free. You can find the link right down in the description box. You can go to download it and use that to build your study plan around it. And on top of that, in today's video, I'm going to talk about some tips and tricks you can use to help you study. They'll be all actionable immediately. You don't have to wait until anything happening before trying them out. So first thing I need you to do is to shifting your mindset. Back in the time when I was still in the college, there is one thing that significantly reduced the efficiency of my study is the guiltiness of doing something not immediately related to my study. Things like doing chores, doing exercise, relaxing, looking at my cell phone, even taking a shower or enjoy a meal for too long of the time. Those are all the things later on of the day when I finally sitting in front of my desk start to study. There is always a piece of my mind will just flying off and go to that guilt zone, start to blame myself of doing all these things that was not helpful for my study, and why did I waste all the time? Why did I do that? And all. And that self-blameless make me study in such a low efficiency. I can't get in focus, eventually causing me to waste even more time. And then I will enter in this loop of blaming myself, not study hard enough, not focus enough. Eventually get to my point, I feel like it's almost triggering a protection mechanism going on in my head saying you should not touch or even think about study. If you are in a similar situation like what I did before, here's what you can do to switch off your mindset and get out of that toxic loop track. First, let's understand doing chores, doing self-cares, those are the things that are necessary for an adult to live. Things like doing dishes, cooking, laundry, make up your room, clean up your desk, those are the things that are all necessary. You have to do them anyway. It doesn't matter if your test is 1 week away or 1 month away. In order to living in an environment that does not look like a raccoon playground, you need to do some necessary maintenance. The chores and cleaning yourself, like wash your hair. If you are a girl having long hair, you know what I mean. Washing your hair is a task. So if you're doing these kind of things, instead of feeling guilty about you are not using this time to study, I would like you to actually pull out a paper and writing down in a week, what are the things you need to do in order to maintain yourself in a healthy, clean condition, maintain your living space is not looking like a huge dumpster can. The next thing I need you to do is, if you did anything on this list, instead of blaming yourself of not using that time to study, tell yourself, I did this task that is necessary for me to do in this week anyway, and by completing this task, I successfully create myself a condition that allows me to do better study. If I studied on a clean desk, I can focus more. If I studied with my stomach full, I won't be distracted on trying to scrolling around on the DoorDash or the Uber Eats page. By cleaning my hair, doing the laundry, I allow myself to be able to wear comfortable clothes, not scratching my head because it's itchy in the middle of my study. So when you do this kind of chores or doing self-maintenance, self-care, those kind of things, reward yourself of, I create a condition that allows me to study better. Don't blame yourself. Tell yourself, I've already did all these things to create a good environment to study. I better utilize this. I tried so hard to make myself to have a comfortable environment to study. Now I can finally study and be absolutely focused because I've completed all the other tasks in my life as a responsible adult. Now it's time for me to study and improve. This mindset switch is so important. When you finally break the loop of blaming yourself and being guilty for everything you do for your life, that's the time you can actually focus and you will get better at this. This week, you will feel like could do my chores faster, do my shower faster, all that. Don't think about it. This week, you tried to clarify all the tasks and you switch your mindset a little bit. Next week, you'll practice again. Eventually, over the time, you might be able to even build a more sustainable schedule for yourself to do the maintenance task at a set range of the time and then do your studies and maybe eventually even expanding your available study time because you now knowing these are the things I necessarily need to do besides study. I'll do this at this point of the time faster and better every time. This is the software I need you to update in your mind and do it. Please do it. This is important. After this important software update of your mindset, that obviously gonna take some time to practice. It's immediately doable, but you will need to take some time to practice and getting better at it. Now let's talk about something that you can do tonight right after this video. So first, I need you to write down what you need to do about your study. Write it down, not just type it in your computer or write it on your iPad. I know a lot of you who are watching my video right now, you are a Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever, much younger than me, and you were grown up with your computer and cell phone. Writing things on paper is probably not one of the things you normally would be doing, but this is important because it gives you more stimulant to your brain. It creates a more vivid picture of what you are going to study. So do it on pen and paper, not your computer, not your iPad. And be very specific. So let's see, when you say, I'm going to study the chemistry, I'm going to study the blood bank today, instead of writing down these kind of very conclusive sentences or wording or description words, write it down as, today I will study the liver enzyme panel. If it's microbiology, write down the specific organism, like today I will study the morphology and the biochemical reactions of Staph aureus. Maybe that's not the only thing you're gonna study today, and then for each organism, like a coag-negative staph, strep A, strep B, but for every single one of the things you need to study, write as many details as you can. So first, by doing this, you give yourself a vivid plan that you can stare at, being like, this is what I need to do, one by one. And second, the other benefit is you can start to reward yourself for little things. And when you keep receiving the signals of rewarding, you have more drive to study. For example, today your big goal is to study microbiology. And you're writing down saying, I will study the morphology and biochemical reactions of identifying Staph aureus and strep A and strep B and blah, 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 blah. With all that, when you learned the morphology of Staph aureus, you check off that little box, give yourself a little reward. One little goal is achieved today. And then when you finish the biochemical reaction, do another check mark in your entire study progress. Even if it's 2, 3, 4 hours long, every 10, 20 minutes, you will receive a little rewards saying, oh, I completed this, awesome, good for me. That's what helps you hook onto your study. It's a very similar reason of how the TikTok keep you on it and continuing to do the doom scrolling. So you constantly having a feedback to you, being like, oh, reward you, I know this piece of little information. But instead of doing the doom scrolling on the TikToks, now you're learning all your knowledges and then checking off marks and saying, I'm even a better person today. Let's come into the last question, how to actually get your study started. Like when you're writing a college essays, it's always the first paragraph and the first sentence of that paragraph is the hardest to write. And normally after you started it, everything becomes easier and easier and easier, and you are finally coming to your conclusion part. So how to get your study started? There are two things you can try. So first one, you probably already heard about it. It's the peer pressure. And the easiest place you can get the peer pressure to force yourself into study is the library. It brings two of the benefit. So first of benefit is apparently the pressure, because when people walking around you, people will know what you are playing on your computer screen and your cell phone screen. You absolutely won't like people to judge you from your back and saying, oh my God, this person just coming to a library to scrolling on the TikTok and watching those soap drama. So that's one of the things you can do. Go to the library. That will force you to stare at some study material. The other benefit comes from the environment change, because you are not going to take your exam in your home in front of your own desk. So if you have already have the experience of studying in a completely different environment, the environment change will bring lesser shock to you, and that will make you perform better, being less stressful about the test. What about you can't go to library for whatever reason? It could be the weather, it could be the distance, or you just absolutely hate to see another human being. Doesn't matter. You are now trapped in your room, but you have to start your study and you don't have that drive. What can you do? Look, there is something I'm just about to piss off all those education gurus online. So at least during my study time, college, high school, all that, everybody will be telling you, you need to have an environment so quiet, doesn't have any distractions, so you can focus, blah, blah, blah. It just didn't work for me. I still end up just staring at my phone, doom scrolling the Instagram reels and all that stuff. You just constantly getting distracted by phone. Those lock away apps, the lock away physical blocking box to block you away from your phone, it just doesn't work. You find a way to access it. You will be breaking the lock to get your phone on to play it, and you will be deleting that app that lock away your time on your phone and start to scrolling again. Those things doesn't work. But there's something you can do by trading off just a little bit of the study efficiency in order to get you at least get things started. That is, go to your Netflix or YouTube play history, find that video or drama that you have been watching 100 times in your life. You like it, but it's not so exciting enough that you will stare at every single scene, every single sentence they say. You like it enough to have it keep playing, but it's not exciting enough to keep your eyes stick to it. Get that drama out and play it on your phone, and put your phone next to you with the volume setting to just enough you can hear the sentence, but not high enough that draw away 100% of attention onto it. By doing that, yes, at the very beginning of your study, you might not be 100% focused, but this is one of the things you can do that at least will make you start the study. In the best scenario, after you get zoomed into your study, you will start to ignore what play on the side. It will eventually get to a point that you completely ignore the drama that was playing next to you. You won't even notice that that episode is finished and it's stopped. You just being so focused on your study because you have already switched into your study mode over the time. It could take maybe 5 minutes for you. It could maybe taking 20 minutes for you. But by the time you realize you are able to focus, that's the time you can either put on the next episode and then refocus back in, or you just completely forgot the time and keep studying. Of course, if you can do that, it will be the best scenario. Now, why do I suggest you to play that on your phone and using your computer to study? That's because the phone is designed to have you use it easily. So by playing something you actually like on the screen, it will actually block you from touching it because that is the drama that you like. So you won't stop it. Unlike if you're trying to put a screen lock or a physical lock onto it because it's complete went on silence and you're not used to it, there is bajillions of the ways you can break that lock as long as you want to. That is still your phone. You are still the admin. You have the full power control of it. But if your phone is already playing something that you absolutely like, that will be so different. You'll be felt like, I'm already watching something I like. Why would I switch it off? That's literally what I need my phone for. So I'm not gonna touch it. I'll just let it play. But then because the drama or video that you're playing is something you're so familiar with, you know what the next sentence is, you know what the next picture frame is, you are not gonna be that hooked onto it. It will be just something on the side and be like, yeah, I like that thing. I'll just read the next question. And then after you finish the next question, maybe something get to your brain, oh, that's the next thing, whatever. You see, it's almost like you are cheating your brain. You're just tricking yourself into study. Forcing yourself is something consuming you. Tricking yourself in is not. This is something your teacher will never suggest you to do. I'm pretty sure this is something your teacher, your parents, all those people will absolutely 100% go against for. But look, it's better than you are not studying at all, right? Like, it's definitely better than you are not even touching your book. So if you have a hard time to get your first 3 minutes of study to start with, this is something you can do. I promise you, everything will be immediately actionable, and you can try it today, tonight, and tell me if it works for you. If you're only left 1 month before you have to take your exam, remember I told you I got you a free 30-day exam prep crushing plan. Go to download it and build your own schedule around it. I break your study time into morning and night. That way it can be done around your busy school or working schedule. And second, if you heard about the forgetting curve created by Ebbinghaus, this study schedule fits that. It will make sure you study, and by the time you start forgetting it, you will be studying again. Of course, everybody will have their own weakness or own specific situations that make everybody having a different specific study schedule or study plan. I can only give you a template. That way you can have something to start to work with. But if you feel overwhelmed of building your specific plan, you can always asking for a one-on-one coaching. I will definitely make sure you walk away with something that you can do within 30 days to see a significant difference. At the end of the video, a little bit of cheer up. You are doing great. Keep studying, study hard, and good luck with your exam. This is Sherry. I'll see you in the next episode.